Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Data-Driven Policymaking Week. It's second edition already on urban policymaking through the analysis of crowdsourced data. We'll give everyone a few more minutes to join. My name is Marieke Willems from Trust IT, and we're involved in the dissemination and stakeholder engagement of the Policy Cloud project. So welcome, get yourself settled in, and we'll start in a few seconds. So when everybody has been able to join the webinar. Okay, I see people are starting to join. That's very good. So with me today, also our three wonderful speakers, Anna, Petja, and Liliana. So thank you for joining. Okay, so okay, so I think it's time that we start. People can join when we have passed the introduction as well. So welcome to the Data-Driven Policymaking Week. We're at its second edition on urban policymaking through the analysis of crowdsourced data. You have entered the webinar in listen-only mode, but you're of course very much invited to post your comments, your questions in the lower bottom of the Zoom platform, where you see a chat and a Q&A, and you can post there your comments and your questions. So my name is Marieke Willems from Trust IT, and I'll be moderating the webinar today. Well, it rests me to say before we start the full presentations that the session is being recorded, and that obviously we will make the recordings available after the webinar, and so will the slides. Okay, so let's get started. So these are the speakers of today: Anna Georgieva, Petja Boskova, and Liliana Carrillo. I will give short bios of each of them when they're starting to present. But now, to make you briefly acquainted with the Policy Cloud project, I think it's interesting to know for you that the project is aiming for a European cloud for data-driven policy management. It will provide integrated reusable models and analytical tools, turning raw data into valuable and actionable knowledge towards efficient policymaking. So really basing policies on the analysis of the data. So the project will last for 3 years. We're already very much in the second year. The budget is over 5 million, and we are 15 partners, all spread over whole Europe. We are a consortium that combines research, academia, industry, and policymakers. So this is very short what we'll be delivering. I know that also my fellow speakers will be talking about this. So very briefly, we'll deliver an integrated cloud-based environment, technologies for policy optimization, a policy development toolkit, and interoperable reusable models. So the Policy Cloud solution is going to be implemented in 4 different policy making pilots. So we have 4 policy making challenges identified on a local level. So we have urban policymaking, we have intelligent policies for the food value chain, we have open data policies for citizens, and we have policies against radicalization in 4 different European countries to show really how the tool will benefit these policymakers. So today we're going to talk about urban policymaking through analysis of crowdsourced data. And the full week is going to be about each of these pilots. So you see that tomorrow we're going to talk about intelligent policies for the food value chain, and on Thursday we'll talk about open data policies for citizens. So for today, the agenda looks as follows. We have an introduction that you've now been listening to. Then Zach, my colleague, will launch a poll because we want to understand who you are, to understand who we're engaging with during this webinar. Then Anna Georgieva will talk about the policy challenges that we are addressing here in this pilot. And then Petja Boskova will take us through the Policy Cloud solution that is going to solve the policy challenge posed already by Anna. And then Liliana Carrillo, founding director. Oh, I see the poll coming up. Founding director. Sorry, can't see So founding director at the Collective UP, co-founding director at the European Digital Development Alliance, and Policy Cloud Impact Creation Board member. And then there's time for all of us to ask our panelists questions, and we would like to engage you in a panel discussion there. You've already seen the poll pop up, so please tell us to which stakeholder group you belong to. So do you feel that you're a policymaker, an IT specialist? Are you more a city administration? Are you from the R&D sector? Are you involved in an NGO or association clusters? Or do not any of these fit in your, do you not fit to any of these groups? Then please enter other. So Zach, I don't know if we've had already some answers. We can see, okay, great. So we have policymakers, city administration, 20% almost, R&D sector, 31%, other is most. So this is something that we, maybe you can put in the chat who others are. I think that would be nice to know. And then we have the NGOs, which is also 6%. So thanks for answering that question. Okay, so now, okay, so now we are going to move to Anna. I'll stop sharing my screen when I can find the button. Thanks, Anna. Okay, I'll briefly introduce you. So Anna Georgieva from Innovative Sofia Municipality is part of the team of the Digitalization, Innovation and Economic Development Department of the city of Sofia in Bulgaria. So please, Anna, go, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marique. Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon to everyone who joined us today in this webinar. It's my great pleasure to introduce and to present on behalf of the city of Sofia, Sofia's pilot use case under the Policy Cloud project, which is dedicated to urban policymaking through analysis of crowdsourced data. As Marique already said, I'm part of Innovative Sofia, the Digitalization, Innovation and Economic Development Department of Sofia Municipality. And as you can guess from our name, our focus is on supporting Sofia's development as a digital, innovative and entrepreneurial hub. And of course, to support its intelligent and green urban development and the improved quality of life for all of the citizens. Before I speak about the project itself, I would like to give you a little bit of context about Sofia Municipality. More and more cities around the world and in Europe, and in particular big cities, are becoming a driver of innovation and change. Of course, it comes to no surprise that cities are the one facing lots and lots of challenges that get concentrated there, but every challenge is also a great opportunity. So it's no surprise the cities are hubs of innovation. Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria and the biggest economical, educational, political, cultural, educational, and innovative hub of the country. It's also the 14th largest city in the EU. Our population is around 1.8 million. And the whole population of Bulgaria is 7 million. One of the main tasks of the municipality, a key focus, is the constant work on improving the urban environment and meeting the challenges that the city must face in the 21st century. And of course, the quality of life for all the citizens. I already said that, but I won't get tired to stress it, because it's very, very important for us. Of course, evidence-based and data-based decision-making and policy-making, it's crucial for addressing all those challenges in an effective, efficient, and cost-efficient way. So our focus during the Policy Cloud project, as you know, will be on urban policymaking, and more specifically, facilitating urban policymaking and monitoring through the analysis of crowdsourced data. We will use the tools provided by Policy Cloud for policy design, which will be adapted through assessment and validation of policies and initiatives based on big data analysis of crowdsourced data. Petja will speak about the data in more detail a bit later. So some of the key topics that will focus our analysis on are road infrastructure, environment and air quality, waste collection and waste disposal, transport and parking, cleanliness of public spaces, violation of public order, and other topics of importance to citizens. So what is our purpose? On one hand, of course, to support the city's policymaking in key areas for the citizens. Of course, to improve operational efficiency, transparency, and database decision-making, to utilize the tools and the visualization tools of Policy Cloud to identify issues, trends, policy effects, and interaction, to validate already existing policies and also analyze and assess potential policies and initiatives in the various areas are already mentioned, and of course, more effective and efficient use of all kinds of resources. When we speak about data, we'll combine data from both existing sources and from new open data sets once they become available. So the two main data sources that we use is first Sofia Municipality's Citizens Contact Center, which includes an app, a desktop version, and a 24/7 available line where citizens can inform or signal the city administration about non-urgent deviation from normal practice within the urban environment. Any kinds of problems starting from urban infrastructure, air quality, to a cat getting stuck on the tree, you name it. The citizens can contact the city and ask for support. And Sofia Municipality's AirThings platform, which is an air quality monitoring system. All the scenarios I mentioned will use data from Sofia's call center with the scenario dedicated to air quality, also using data from AirThings. Thus, all the scenarios, apart from air quality, will use data with similar attributes, variables, KPIs, and will have similar end-to-end structure, with scenario B on air quality adding an additional source of data and could also include cross-analysis of data. The analysis of data by different categories, type, territory, time, it will allow municipal decision-making and administrators to identify problems, issues, and behavioral trends. Some of the main challenges we would like to address through this project is, of course, first of all, evidence-based policymaking, providing meaningful, understandable, structured results from unstructured data and ethical approach to data use. And among the success indicators are the number of different policies tested and the results, the consequences in consideration in city planning. Here I will just give you an overview of how two of the scenarios work on the example of road infrastructure and air quality. And again, the scenario I described on road infrastructure, it will be similar, but with different data in regards to the other scenarios. So road infrastructure with the adjacent urban environment is one of the key and most budget consuming elements affecting citizens' lives here in Sofia. So the detailed analysis through the instruments of Policy Cloud will allow us to identify different problems in the road infrastructure and the urban environment, to locate it, to see where those problems are most common, to adopt or modify adequate policymaking decisions included on budget planning and resource allocation, to facilitate better control, monitoring, and prevention, because data is also a key element for predicting patterns and forecasting potential issues, and to identify tendencies. In terms of air quality and environment, air quality is a key topic for Sofia Municipality, also in Bulgaria, and more increasingly for Europe and the whole world. And the analysis we make on data from Call Sofia and AirThings, again, will help us identify problems related to air quality, identify or modify policies, facilitate control, monitoring, and prevention, to see what policies currently exist, what policies are being planned in the future, and to update and modify them accordingly. Last but not least, my favorite topic And something I would really like to stress is that urban policy making is an ongoing co-creation process. And it's key that there is an ongoing dialogue and effective discussion, first of all, between the city and the citizens, the city and the various stakeholders from the local ecosystem, be it associations, the academic sector, universities, tech hubs, R&D hubs, and last but not least, within the municipality itself and its different structures. Sofia municipality is a very big organism with 11 different departments and over 56 municipal enterprises and projects. So the coordination between the different parts of the city is key here. I'm very glad that our focus is on using crowdsourcing data, because once again, this puts the citizens in the center of the whole process, because after all, the citizens who live in the different parts of the city are the ones that know best what the challenges they face in their area are, what are their problems, what can be improved. And it's very, very valuable for us as a city to have their direct feedback on an ongoing, regular basis. Speaking about coordination within the municipality itself, we already had our first workshop with our colleagues, and we're working with some of the other departments in the city, of course, Transport and Urban Mobility Department and the Mobility Center here in Sofia, the European Policies and Projects Department, the Green Systems and Ecology Department, Architecture and Urban Planning Department, and some of the city's projects related to green and urban environment, like Sofia Plan, Vision Sofia, Green Sofia, Sofia Development Association. Important partners of ours are also GATE, the GATE Institute, which are part of Sofia University and are the first of its kind center of excellence on big data and AI on the Balkans and Eastern Europe. And we're working with them on the creation of the first digital twin here in Bulgaria and Sofia, and in particular in one of the districts. It's an ongoing project, and we are very, very much looking forward to its development. So thank you very much for your attention. I would like to give the floor to Petja.
Thanks, Anna. If you have any questions for Anna, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A, and we'll certainly address them in the panel discussion. Now, Petja, thanks Anna very much. Petja, now the floor is yours. Petja is the operative director at OKIS. She has experience as head of European projects and programs for over 15 years. Petja, the floor is yours. Thanks. I think you are muted.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Marique. Thank you, Anna. It was a real pleasure being part of this project. As Marique presented myself, I'm a part of the team that is working on Policy Cloud project, and we are supporting Sofia municipality to implement the decision that is being produced by Policy Cloud project. So, okay. Sorry. So as Anna presented, there are going to be two main sources of data for this project, and this is one is the contact center, which was already presented by Anna. So many signals for irregularities in the urban environment and other spheres of public life are received daily by various departments of Sofia municipality. In order to facilitate citizens and guests of Sofia, a single entry point was successfully developed. This is the contact center, accessible by phone and website, where these signals can be received, processed, distributed to relevant departments of the municipal administration, and as a result, answered to the sender. The contact center is in operation since the end of 2014. And since the start of its existence, more than 300,000 signals in about 90 categories have been registered. And for 2019, 70,000 signals were registered. Each signal is manually processed by the responsible officer. I would like to show you the interface of the contact center. I don't know if I can, sorry, go there. Okay, it's fine. So here you can see the incidents that have been filed by citizens. These are the most recent ones. They're all in free text. So first you have the date and time when the signal is filed. Then what's the problem, then there is a short description, then there is the address, and then what's its status. As you can see, it's a free text, but there are some predefined categories. So here you can see a little bit more information about the signal. So it's about a car that's not parked, it's not parked properly. And then it shows where exactly is this incident registered. So where on the map, then there is the address, and there what's the status. There are some documents that have, for example, pictures could be added, but in this case, there is no picture. I can search for another one to see. For example, this one, this is the address. No, there is no picture here, but in general, this is how the signals look like. They're definitely about problems, incidents, and issues, and not about, for example, praising the municipality or for some suggestions. So in most of the cases, the connotation of signals is let's say negative. But this is what this contact center is for solving citizens' problems. The other source of information is the Earthings platform. So here is a screenshot of it. There are different points around Sofia city where sensors have been placed, and they measure different air components and provide useful information about air pollution. Combined with the signals from the contact center, crossed and enriched analysis can be made. What are the objectives of Sofia municipality pilot? Firstly, is with the use of crowdsourced data to find out repetitive problems and patterns. Then when extracting, analyzing, and classifying the data based on defined ontologies to create long-standing and sustainable solutions. Also, one objective is to design new policies or update existing ones to address problems related to urban environment. And last but not least, we strive to create measurable KPIs and evaluate the impact of the new implemented policies. What are the benefits for Sofia municipality? They will get a powerful tool for policy modeling, simulation, and improvement or remodeling of existing policies. They'll get an accurate analytical tool, and they'll also get a large array of visualizations, giving them the clear picture. As Anna has already mentioned, we are focusing on developing two of the described scenarios. One is on the problems related to road infrastructure, and the other one is on the air quality and environment. So what information are we looking to analyze? Number of incidents, problems reported, and what's their change in frequency over the years. Number of incidents and problems per year, and what's the annual percentage increase or decrease in number. Number of incidents, problems per geographical location. And there cross-analysis of several criteria can be made per type and district and year. What is the number of incidents and or problems per category per location? And then we can see the increase per type, year, district, month. We can also analyze the percent per type of incidents and what's the geographical spreads per district or per geolocation. Percent per month, percent per year, and share of incidents per type, per month, per year, etc. So yeah, this is a sample of the analysis that are going to be made. This is an example of visualization that we are planning to implement for this use case. So yeah, we are planning to use heat maps, circular charts, chart bars, tables with dynamic criteria by type, by KPI, by location, etc., and dashboards. So if you allow me to sum up what is Policy Cloud. Policy Cloud is a cloud-based decision support system that allows public authorities to model, implement, evaluate, and adapt cross-border evidence-based and data-driven policies by using interoperable and reusable models, analytical tools, while preserving privacy and security according to EU and national laws and regulations. What we've done so far since the start of the projects, we've defined the scenarios that we are going to implement, the policy modeling components, the KPIs, the analytical tools, the visualization requirements, and the database parameters. As Anna has already mentioned, one co-creation workshop was held in December last week, where there were policymakers, digitalization experts, and public administration representatives. What we also did, so we validated the technical tools and infrastructure to organize, filter, compare, visualize, and analyze different data, as well as the need to create a regulatory and ethical framework for data usage and applications. And what are the next steps? As again, Anna mentioned already, there is going to be a second co-creation workshop planned. We'll continue on the further exploration and definition of additional analytical tools and or visualizations for each scenario, and also the configuration and adaptation of the policy models. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petja. So any questions that you may have for Petja, please add them to the chat or the Q&A. We'll find them and we'll address them during the panel discussion. So now I would like to invite Liliana Carrillo to take the floor. Liliana Carrillo is the founding director at Collective UP, co-founding director at EDA, and she's a Policy Cloud Impact Creation Board member. So the Impact Creation Board for Policy Cloud is the knowledge and guidance forum for the project. Liliana is a computer science engineer with a background in business, artificial intelligence, distributed and decentralized systems, and experience in several sectors: technology, social, and education. So Liliana, I understand you're passionate about smart cities topics and citizens' participation, and the reason why why you have deepened your research in governance. Liliana, you're a researcher, entrepreneur, and speaker in topics related to collective intelligence, including governance, decentralized autonomous organizations, and peer-to-peer systems. Liliana, Thank you for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Marike. Yeah, I'm Liliana Carrillo, and I'm a collective intelligence researcher, and I have a passion for smart cities in general and upgrading our intelligence with computer and systems and human collaboration, like just as Petia has mentioned now, co-creation sessions. And I'm going to bring to the table a more European and global perspective to this project, like bringing other initiatives to the picture. So if we are to scale Sophia's knowledge and data collection, like right now we have two systems, Sophia has two systems basically that are feeding the policy cloud bigger system, let's say. So we have on one hand the crowdsourcing that is information that comes directly from the citizens. And then on the other hand, this information that comes actually from sensors, the platform of air quality, right? And then if Sophia would be to scale actually these applications and incorporate more data, it could actually bring Sophia to building their digital twin. And it is already happening. Like if you see, for example, the visualization that it has been shown recently, imagine that this could actually be built also in three-dimensional, like bringing also the geographical systems into the picture. Then you could also take decisions at three-dimensional level. So I bring you now to digital, urban digital twins. And I bring as an example, Helsinki. Helsinki has built, and one of the neighborhoods of Helsinki is available actually via a 3D web platform to users, in which, as you see on the right side, there is a three-dimensional representation of the neighborhood. And you see also some lines that actually represent the wind that is going through the city. And this is the digital representation, the three-dimensional digital representation of Helsinki's neighborhood, right? And this representation actually can support the city to make better decisions. For example, if there is a request to change a specific area of the city and maybe convert it into an industrial area, but some of the buildings to be built in a specific region actually block the wind and the air of the whole city, then the city can actually decide, no, this is actually not a good decision because it has it implies certain challenges for the whole population and the city. So that's how we could even bring the visualization also to the three-dimensional level. And this is a complex system that has been built also collecting and joining different systems, databases and computing system applications and so on. So it like taking into consideration all the interoperability between different systems to actually show that three-dimensional model, right? And now if we go a little bit further, we see that those systems that have been built, the digital twin that has been built for Helsinki is built with different blocks, right? Different blocks of computers, of software and data, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't imply immediately that all the systems are actually able to talk to each other or that the data from one system is easily interoperable or understood by another computer system. So therefore that at European level, we have many different initiatives contributing to the technological level of interoperability, for example. And in that, I invite you to look into next generation initiatives, next generation internet initiatives, some of them working on the data availability challenges, data quality, data interoperability, and specifically we could go more into urban digital twins, looking into some projects that are going on here in Flanders where I live, also in Athens and Pils. And I invite you then to look into the Digital Urban Twins website and the knowledge that is created around that project that can be complementary to, is actually complementary to the Policy Cloud project. Also going more specifically, taking that digital twin to create a specific solution. There is one project, the LEAD project, that is creating solutions specifically to reduce the emissions of the logistics, the last mile in logistics. So those are examples also of what is going on. Now, if we continue into this European space, I bring you then to the European data strategy and the data common spaces strategy that we have. So basically the European Commission is supporting us and supporting the Europe to build 9 common European data spaces, industrial, Green Deal, mobility, health, financial, energy, agriculture, public administration, and digital skills. Specifically, according to the example that has been given by Sofia, if we look into the direction of air quality, this could be one of the inputs, for example, related to the data space for related to the Green Deal, all the actions that are taken towards mitigating climate change. Also reduce pollution, waste of waste in general, and creating Green Deal data for all. And there we see also the link of the Destination Earth, which is basically the ambition of building a digital twin for our Earth, right? And going there now out of the European picture and going to that digital twin of our Earth, I invite you to have a look, for example, at this Japanese initiative that is from the NTT Corporation, and they have been have built already a reference model for an architectural model for the digital twin computing system, in which one of the layers is actually the urban spaces. There are also the humans, traffic, and so on, but it's a general framework that is built also abroad, built out of Europe. And then the question is, how are we going to integrate all the systems, right, to build that digital representation of our Earth? Okay. And then I bring you also to think about development strategies. I see that the progress that Sofia and other cities and in general also the Policy Cloud project is achieving indirectly is digital development. So we have a digital gap not only between Europe and Africa or Latin America or countries that are categorized as underdeveloped, but actually we have a challenge also at European level. Some regions are digitally more developed than others, basically by creating these projects and this open knowledge, like it is right now shared via the municipality of Sofia and the Policy Cloud project. We are basically supporting also underdeveloped regions to easily learn from things that are working, for strategies and policies that are working, so that they can also implement them, test them, and decide how to move forward. Or even all what we learn and that brings us even to a failure, if we also share all this failure, it can mean for underdeveloped regions that they potentially can save money, they can save time, energy, and that can be channeled for other better purposes. And that's all. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Liliana. Thank you very much. Any questions for Liliana, please add them to the chat, and we'll make sure she'll come back to you in the panel discussion. We also have a poll that I would like to launch, but before we go to that, Liliana, the slide that you showed at the last moment, Anna and Peter, do you have a first reaction to that? To maybe because I was very intrigued by the digital gap that we also have on European level. Have you seen that in the Sofia municipality, and how, maybe could you give an example to if you are, for example, helping to close this gap with maybe municipalities around Sofia, or how do you see this? Anna and Petja, I don't know who of the two would like to take that first reaction.
I don't know if Anna has if she knows about any experience in this relation of Sofia municipality about bridging the gap. I'm not aware, to be honest, talking specifically about Sofia, if they have something developed in this relation.
In
Thanks, Petja.
Sorry, digitalization and digital transformation is one of the key priorities for the city of Sofia on both strategic and actionable level. So one of the signs of the commitment to the city to this topic was actually the creation of my department, Digitalization, Innovation and Economic Development, in 2020. And we're headed by a deputy mayor for this. Also, our team developed the strategy for digital transformation of Sofia together with over 100 representatives of the local ecosystem, and with support from the European Commission under the Digital Cities Challenge of the European Commission. And this strategy outlines the future steps, concrete initiatives, and the overall strategy and aims of the city in this regard. So there are different initiatives included in this strategy, which are in line both with the worldwide trends and tendencies and the priorities of the European Union and the European Commission. Of course, I can speak about Sofia municipality because I'm part of it, but in other cities of Sofia, they're also focusing on digital transformation. And one of the cities that comes to mind is Burgas. So it's one of the big cities in Bulgaria. It's close to the seaside. They are very proactive in this regard.
Thanks for your answer. So now we would like to ask also the audience a little bit more about their experience. So we've defined a few questions also to get an overview there. So I would like to invite the audience to join to the slido.com and put in there the number 891287, or simply go to the QR code and go there. There are 4 questions that we'd like to know a little bit about you. So are you currently using data-driven instruments for policy making? So you can answer yes, no, but I'm interested in doing so, or no, I'm not interested. So we'd like to understand how you feel that in your organization. So if you join us at slido.com with the number 891287, or with the QR code, you can simply jump in there. And then please answer the question, are you currently using data-driven instruments for policy making? So 2 of you have already said no, but you're interested in doing so. Okay. Great. Let's move to, oh, perfect. Yes, some of you are already doing that. Most of you not, but are interested in doing so. That's very positive. Thanks for joining the webinar then also. So let's go to the next question. So do you have any challenges when considering evidence-based policy making? So no, it's easy. Technical challenges in obtaining relevant data, implementation challenges, and competency challenges. So how is that in your organization? So do you have any challenges when considering evidence-based policymaking? So challenges in obtaining the relevant data. Also competency, okay. And implementation challenges as well. Okay, thanks. So would you be interested in implementing a cloud-based solution for data-driven policymaking like Policy Cloud? Yes, maybe no, that's a quite straightforward question. Okay, yes, and some of you are not sure yet. Okay. So I think this was the last question, Zach. Is there one more? No, there's one more. Let's see. Okay. So do you have the necessary skills in your organization to operate a solution like Policy Cloud? So this is really skills related. Yes, no, we would prefer to contract it as a service, or no? So do you have the necessary skills in your organization to operate a solution like Policy Cloud? Okay, quite a few indicate that you have. Also, no, we would prefer to contract it as a service. Okay. Okay, thanks for those answers. I see that there is a question in the chat by Yusuf Moati. Thanks for joining, Yusuf. This question is for the three presenters. What is the added value of Policy Cloud as compared with already available data mining, big data analytics tools, and data representation tools? Who would like to take the question?
Probably I could start, and then, yeah. I'll be short and concise. To me, the biggest advantage is, let's say, the policy modeling component, for example, which is a very valuable tool where different policies can be tested, evaluated based on input data that's there. So to me, that's a very big advantage.
Thanks, Petja.
Thank you.
Anna, would you like to comment here?
Yeah, sure. I agree with what Petja said, and I would like to stress out that this tool, it's being developed with the support and with the constant feedbacks of people who are on the field and cities who are facing actual challenges. And I think that that's another great benefit of the project, because it's evolving and changing depending on the actual needs in real time.
Thanks. Liliana, do you want to add a comment?
Yeah. I would also like to add that even though I'm not really like involved in the Policy Cloud project, so I'm really like a bit more an outsider, just adding impact, let's say. I would say that, data mining, big data and analytic tools and things that already exist can be used in the project, incorporated in the project and applied. So one thing is to have data analytic tools that can do whatever you want, but another thing is to go to the application of policy itself. So it's those are technologies that support one specific goal, and in this goal, the goal here would be Policy Cloud.
Thanks, Liliana. Okay. Are there any other questions in the Q&A, Zach? I can't really see that. If not, I have a few questions that I would like to ask as well.
No, there's no questions in the Q&A.
Okay. So Liliana, you already talked about the common European data spaces that will ensure that more data becomes available for use in the economy and to society. So while keeping companies and individuals who generate the data in control. So, I mean, if you would have to summarize that, so how can policymakers benefit from these data spaces? You've already addressed this in your presentation. But do you have a recommendation for them?
I think that my recommendation goes in the direction of reusing data, like that these European data common spaces and in general several of the initiatives going on actually facilitate that we have a space with all kind of data that can be reused. So basically going into the mindset of reusing data and interoperability. That would be my recommendation.
So when looking at reusing these data and the interoperability, Anna and Petja, how is Policy Cloud contributing to this? And to the common European data spaces as a whole? Petja, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I unmute myself, but I haven't. To me, Policy Cloud is contributing in various ways, but one is, let's say, enriching the existing policy models by using more free data and adding different, let's say, data scenarios, and also by providing a powerful tool that can solve persistent, repetitive problems.
Thanks. So a powerful tool and enriching existing policymaking models. That's very interesting. Thanks, Petja. Anna, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, sure. Apart from giving access to this tool, Policy Cloud is actually a very strong instrument for enhancing collaboration, dialogue, and exchange of good practices. So currently there are 4 pilot scenarios, and already the existing cities are exchanging on an ongoing basis good practices, advice, and so on, which will later on, by the end of the project, become available for other cities and policymakers around the world, which I find is a very high added value.
Thanks, Anna. That's very interesting. And linking to what you've now said, like creating synergies, the European strategy for data meant to put people first in developing the technology, as well as on the need to defend and promote European values and the rights in how we design, in how we make and deploy the technology in the economy. So how is Policy Cloud putting people first? And I would like you to answer this question, because you already put the people really at the center of your presentation at the end. Anna.
To begin with, the main driver for the cities, of course, are the citizens and the population, and they strive to improve the urban environment and to provide higher quality of life for the current generations and the future generations to come. So the efforts of the cities should be focused on the citizens, and the citizens should be proactive into giving their feedback and participating in the different urban processes. And I'm very glad that it's an ongoing trend with more and more cities applying this this approach, and the European Union promoting it. So, yeah.
Thanks. And Liliana, maybe you could help us out here, because obviously it's not always there are many ways that you can engage with citizens. So how could you name 1 or 2 really interesting mechanisms that you've seen lately, especially when we're looking at the urban environment?
Well, I have seen some that are very technical, very technological, and some that are even implemented at schools. So maybe I can bring that to the picture. Here in Flanders, there has been a design, a tool design that it's called Design Think Your City. And it has been designed by one of my collaborators at the school RISO. And it's one of the ways of getting to collaborate with even students at the schools and how to design our future cities. So that's one of the interesting projects that I have seen. Another one, for example, if you would go more in the branch of 3-dimensional design, 3D design, we could get inspired, for example, by the game Minecraft, and how even working with communities that are, for example, disadvantaged communities, and that we want to work on participatory practices, they can be brought to the picture, even though it's not into analyzing the data and so on, but it's more the part of co-creation and collaborative processes. So that could be. There's one interesting project of block by block. I really love that one, and it's with Minecraft, and that's one of the ones I actually advocate for, and I do it myself.
Liliana, so block by block, is that using the tool of Minecraft, or they have adopted a similar approach? It's
actually a foundation that is from the United Nations. And they are using Minecraft as a tool for participatory urban design. specifically in urban spaces, like for example, a park, and actually creating those spaces together with the community. And that is one, I have been using it in the context of peace building activities as an interactive tool to build together, to basically say, look, this is the way that I would like my city to be. And more, it can be even in the philosophical way of reflecting what we really want for our cities. So yeah, block by block is an interesting one. Yeah.
Thanks. There is a question that I see in the chat by Oliver Rack. So how far are data by governments involved in the policy models, and if are they open data, and is the regulation for high value data as appendix of PSI open data directive useful for you? I think there's various components to the question. Who would like to take it? Thanks, Oliver, for your question.
I can start.
Yes, I was thinking, but I'm not sure if I get this question right, because I don't know what is meant here by data by governments involved in policy models here.
Zach, could we unmute Oliver maybe so he can elaborate his question?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 second.
Thanks, Zach. Hi, Oliver. Thanks for your question. Could you elaborate it a little bit?
Yeah, you're talking today about crowdsourced data. So for sure, it's for combining also the government's data, like meteorological data, spatial data from the local government or from the subnational government or the national government. So there comes the topic of open government data in. So this is why I asked if open government data is interesting or important for you, and are the data generated by the citizens also open when they are not no personal data?
Okay, so I'm talking specifically about this use case, as I'm not that familiar with the other three, but there is no personal data, no personal information whatsoever in the data that's processed, and all the data there is anonymized, so no personal data processed whatsoever. We've made sure that this is true all the time, and since people that filed the incidents, they do not file any of their personal data. The information we are processing is not, well, the contact center is not free at the moment, so it's not open data, while the air quality, air things platform information there is available. Yes.
Thanks, Petja. Anna or Liliana, do you want to add anything here?
I would like to jump in. First of all, Oliver, thank you for the question. Open data, I will speak about Sofia now. Open data is a key topic for Sofia, and several of the projects set for the next 2 to 3 years in the strategy for digital transformation of Sofia is related to that. First of all, the city of Sofia is working on the development of an open data platform. It's also working on a platform that will allow citizens to use energy and utilities in a more effective and efficient way, and via the use of data related to, of course, meteorological conditions, utility consumption, and others. Also, another project of the city is called it's related to innovative solutions, and it's a sandbox for innovative solutions, which actually aims to support pilot projects related to different urban challenges developed by the local system. And one of the goals of this pilot project is exactly to generate data which can be then shared and used for data-based decision making. In the current years, in the last several years, open data and opening different sources of data has been a priority on both national level and municipal level, and the number of the available data will increase in the upcoming years.
Thank you. Liliana, would you like to add anything here?
Well, I would like to add that for the city of Ghent, where I live, the open data is also a priority. So we have a platform where every citizen can just go to the website and actually see the data. It is being used sometimes, for example, by university colleges and by the city itself to to organize hackathons in which digital tools are created by students, for example, to tackle or sometimes to visualize the data. And indeed, I see in the chat that someone is pointing out to how strong the Ghent community is for open data. And in general, all, like for example, the European project, the Digital Urban Twin is also going into the direction of open linked data. So that is, very important over here.
Thanks. So we've reached the end of the webinar, but I would like to ask you in the last minute now that we've mapped the challenge for urban policymaking through the analysis of crowdsourced data on a local level, but we've also seen other examples on national, European, and even global level. Could each one of you give one actionable recommendation for policymakers dealing with similar challenges? So from the top of your head, real quick, one recommendation.
Involve the citizens as much as possible, focus on the co-creation process, and open data, open data, open data.
Great, thanks, Anna. So involve citizens, co-creation, and open data. Petja, do you want to go next?
Yes, thank you. I think it's important for policymakers to become more and more visionaries in this, and especially when talking about urban and city administration. So my recommendation would be to invest more in human potential as in data analysts. I think this is really important.
So invest in skills and competences.
Yes.
Thanks, Petja. Liliana.
I would also add to go into that direction, to pay attention to digital skills at local level. And also, as Anna says, open data, and be creative. The data can be reused in many ways, in different scenarios, like the air quality data, that is being given by the platform of Sofia can be used for how to restructure the city in a way that there is better quality, or the road, or so on, but it can also be used for health applications. So reuse.
Reuse, great, thanks. I see also, Oliver, thanks for putting that in the chat. So everyone who wants to have a look, the German government on crowdsourced data, right? The policies on crowdsourced data. Thank you for that. Then rest me to say that tomorrow at the same time, we have the third edition of our webinar series of data-driven policymaking on intelligent policies for the food value chain. I very much want to thank our speakers of today. So thank you, Anna, thank you, Petja, thank you, Liliana. Thank you very much for your useful insights, your great discussions, and thank you all attendees for joining us today and for your questions asked. So if you are interested in learning more about Policy Cloud, please, here you can see where you can find us. Don't hesitate to drop us a mail, send us a tweet or a LinkedIn post. We'll engage with you there. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure.
Bye.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks, a pleasure. Bye.